Hey everybody, how's it? Aloha, this is Geebz here, your old composer here at the Decomposer Lounge. At first I want to thank everybody on that short that I put out there. It was my very first blooper reel. You guys know me. I'm not really big on cursing, but you know, there's the real side of the other side. You know, I like to present myself as somewhat of a, you know, responsible elder composer kind of thing. Especially I got stuff with kids that I do, so I triply watch it, but I just figured what the heck, it's a heavy metal channel, so the blooper reel that I put there was kind of fun to do, and I'm glad some of you guys got a kick out of it. Anyhow, Pantera, for some reason, maybe a fan club or something, I don't know. I got swarmed with a bunch of Pantera suggestions and wanting Pantera on a slow burn, which I may consider doing actually. But I just decided the pressure was enough and I couldn't take it. And so I decided one of the tracks that kept on coming up was something called 5 Minutes Alone, a 1994 track. It was released. Now this time, because I've been so intrigued about, you know, Dimebag's story and Pantera as a legacy band, an absolute legacy band in so many different ways, even though I've only done 2 other tracks on them on this channel. I did a little bit of research, and this song has quite the story behind it, right? Something about some guy in a crowd that was being just obnoxious, and then something went down and a bunch of audience members beat him up, and his dad said, "Oh, I wish I had 5 minutes with the lead singer," you know. I thought that was a great backstory to a song. A lot of times we don't get the opportunity to hear that backstory, you know, unless we dive super deep into it. So this is what I'm doing right now, guys. So lock and load. I have my cup of coffee. Thank you so much. I'm still getting people buying me a cup of coffee. I had a fun little run. I guess a lot of people were buying me some Christmas coffee. So you know where the links are for the headset, for the cup of coffee. So let's do this. This is Pantera, 5 Minutes Alone. All right. God, his voice is just absolutely nuts. Like the sizzle in it, and the power and the crushing intensity of his voice is just insane. Like, remember, I don't have a lot of experience with Pantera. This is only the 3rd track I've heard, but there's no 2 ways about it. I can hear some pulled influence, a little Black Sabbath riffy pull, it seems like, from my excuse me, my little knowledge. That's what it feels like. But I love how it with the chugginess of the guitar and stuff like that, and the riff, that one section that kind of gave me that Black Sabbath kind of vibe was that little center section in between the 2 verses, and that's what I really dug. That's what I'm digging at where I'm at this point in the track. So we've just got through listening to the hook, but they gave us a couple of really juicy samples of some sick chugging and really super. I love like I said, that little riff that was in between the first verses. It was just like maybe about a 4-bar turnaround of sorts. They got right back into it. Love what the drums did when he straightened out his rhythm. You saw me a little bit probably get tweaked when the drums kind of everything was still locked in its tempo and everything, but the drummer at one point just kind of went, I'm going to shift this backwards, and then brought it back forwards and everything. And I love the tone of the guitars. I think the last time I made a mistake, like I do, I'm old, and I can because I'm learning, but Dimebag is playing solid state. Is he playing solid state? Heads on this, you guys tell me. Let me know. God, that is so absolute badass. I really love that. I think what I really love about this too is that the complete sound and the engineering of this just kind of pulls me back into the organic days of like raw, powerful rock recorded the right way. If you know, musicians and audiophiles are people who are big historians, and you know what I'm talking about. Even though the drum kit sounds a little brighter, not like as warm as, let's say, a 70s, early 80s mix. Obviously, now we're in the 90s. But the emphasis on the kick and the little peak, there's a little bit of a high, maybe about a 6K peak that's popping there. And I love that sound, and especially in a track like this. Plus, the overall mix on this, the master that we're hearing right now, is a little more punchier and teethier and grittier. You know, and I think and because I don't know, since I haven't gone through a discography, what the trajectory of the engineering changes has done as they've been going through the years, for the time and for what little recall I have, that is such a just a bare bones grit teeth sound that is so badass with this whole thing. The one thing is I noticed, though, you see me hitting, doing things with the cymbals and stuff, they weren't really wide with the overhead sound. There wasn't an emphasis on the drum mix on this to keep that, a lot wider. But I think there could have been, high-end reasons for that. Ah, let's hear it for the classic fade. We don't get any fades in the last 18, 10, 15 years of metal that I've been doing here. We don't get very many fades at all, but that's nostalgic for me. You know, to hear a fade like that, it's just nostalgic. It's just from where I come from in the world music. Oh my God, that bass tone. And when the guitar is starting to do some of that kind of wide intervallic lead kind of work, not quite lead work, but it was left up to the bottom end to carry the power along with the drums. Oh, that bass playing was absolutely sick. And that bass tone is just incredible. I wish I could imitate it. I mean, I don't spend a lot of time as a composer doing what I do in the small arena that I am in the world of music. You know, it's not that I spend a lot of time, you know, developing sounds and stuff like that. But the one thing about this journey through the heavy metal channel and stuff like that has been really evident to me is the incredible work in tones that the bass players go through. I mean, guitars as well, but guitars is really represented by the powerful chug in the dirt, you know, that distorted sound, and many different types of it. Obviously, these chugs on these guitars are absolutely sick, but that bass tone it was so expressive during that, you know, that little breakdown thing. And that's the last thing I want to say too is the breakdown. It was like kind of like a pre-chorus riff explosion that I really kind of like. So you kind of had, remember I was talking about earlier, you had like a verse A, verse B. They had a little four bar chunk that they did like kind of rearranging the riff, come into verse 2. And then before they got to, you know, where he just totally toasts, excuse me, 5 minutes alone with his voice, he just really gets to it. There was like an 8-bar pre-chorus section there, and that was really sick too. This is so well arranged, and none of the riff that was being played or the chugginess ever got mundane, ever got like, okay, we've been there, okay, we're still there, they're still, no, definitely took us through an expose on riffage. Anyhow, so yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I hope you enjoyed this. Remember where all the links are, they're down below. I've got so much more coming up. If you guys want me to do a Pantera slow burn, just type in Pantera slow burn! Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. All right, 1, 2, no, 3. Just having a little fun with you guys. Take care. I'll see you later.